Well, Mr. Middleton, they're ready for you for the podcast episode, sir.
Huh?
They're ready for you for the podcast.
All right, just 1 second.
Thank you. Welcome to Do You Hear Us, the podcast. I am your host, the only male Cruz. Do You Hear Us was founded by George Middleton Sr., and it just so happens that we are blessed to have him on this. This is actually our second podcast, and we happen to have him here. This is just fantastic. So thank you for being here, George Middleton. We also have his son, Greg Middleton, and today we are going to be discussing this viral pastor who went to Target, put about $2,000 or so worth of merchandise in his cart, took it to the cash register, and told the people, you know what? I'm not buying this. I think it's hilarious. I see where this guy's coming from, but he got a lot of backlash. So it just so happens that George Middleton says, I don't think that's like the way to do this kind of thing, but we're going to have a discussion on that. So let's go to the video. Let's see what happens, and then we'll talk about it on the other side. So here we go.
Okay, cool. Dollars right there. I'm gonna get this though. Ooh. What? I just did not now. Right now, have you heard of how much is it again?
2632.
2632. Have you heard of DEI?
Not that I know of.
You haven't? Okay. Part of the reason why I'm not going to purchase this because of how she treated me and your staff since I've been here. And so I'm just going to leave. Let her help you take it all back. I'm done. So yeah, I didn't buy anything here at Target. And see, that's what we got to get our activists to know, that we can do boycott, but you got to add inconvenience to it. Everybody in the country need to go to a local Target, shop, get all the things that you think that you would like, put it in the cart, go to the cash register and say, you know what? You all don't support DEI. This is my last, and they can call the police. I thought they'd been out here waiting on me, but I ain't coming back no way. Peace.
So, gentlemen, what are your thoughts? I mean, listen, first of all, I think that's funny. It's hilarious. What I like the most about it is the fact that it's different from all of the boycott efforts that have been levied the past 5 years or so. You know, our standard way of boycotting these businesses is really no skin off of the businesses. It's no skin off of their knee. You know, we say, hey, we're not coming there, and they can almost by their watch say, well, you guys will be back before the end of the month. You know, but that inconvenience. Somebody said in the comments that when stores ring up that much time, ring up all the merchandise, and then all of a sudden it doesn't sell, the sale doesn't go through, it actually impacts the store's record, something to do with conversion rate or something of that nature. So it's slight, but it's something. So George Middleton Sr., sir, when we talked about this earlier, you said, now that's not what you're supposed to do. Talk to us, sir. What are your thoughts about that? What do you think about that, Pastor?
Well, as a leader, he's supposed to inspire and motivate people to want to make things better, not worse. And when you're fighting fire with fire, everybody can get burnt, but good and bad. This way, I think that his motivation and his leadership is in question as far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't follow the man to the corner, because that's not leadership in this type of warfare. The warfare we're fighting is a mindset. And it's a mindset to the point that in the wee hours of the morning, that mind will wake you up and whip you with your conscience about, did you do the right thing? You don't need those kind of displays where it would cost everybody money for your grievances. My grievance is with the system, and the system has a mechanism in place that if we worked it, we could beat them at their own game. It has voting in there. It has a great deal of things that we studied.
Economics in there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what happens is the people that are affected by it, the people that can make changes about it is the people. And we, the people, is stronger than those hoodlums who goes in, bangs up and break out the windows and steal and take stuff out of the stores. That's not leadership. That's not what I'd like to have.
Okay. You know what? That's really a good perspective. Very profound statement from you. Wow. You said you wouldn't follow him to the corner. Okay, so that's funny. Gregory Middleton, sir, you've had an opportunity to see this video. Now, the benefit of you being part of this discussion is you weren't aware of this until just now, the spontaneous participation inside this podcast episode. Sir, what are your thoughts about what you just saw?
Well, I'd have to agree with my dad on that one. The first thing that came to my mind was Dr. King. You know, we always talk about WWJD. What would Jesus do? What would Dr. King do in this situation? Would he take $2,000 worth of material to the register and do that, what this guy did? And, you know, again, echoing my dad's thoughts, if you're doing it as a shepherd, you're telling your sheep that they can do it too. So, and in addition to that, if I was going to do something like that, I would have gotten frozen items, ice cream, stuff that would have melted and leaked and spilled all over the floor. You know what I mean? Just homemade, what's that ice cream, the $8 gallon ice cream? I mean, I would just put gallons and gallons and gallons and done all that. You could have done that. But ice cream sandwiches,
No.
everything in a quarter.
You guys are not right.
and left it.
That's not right. You know it.
Here's the point. Here's the point, though.
Would you like it done?
No, but here's the point. If you really want to go all the way, what about the people coming in behind you who now are being followed and monitored and thinking like, you know, we better watch them. So now the next black customer that comes in behind that lady, behind that reverend, is going to be treated like a potential shoplifter. You know, and we've been trying to get away from that. So then that creates that animosity. Why are you following me? So someone else goes to the ice cream aisle or the milk aisle, you know. So you create a really discomforting feeling for the next black shopper that comes in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that guy that wasn't godly. And it wasn't something that Dr. King would do, wasn't something that Minister Farrakhan would do, wasn't something that Malcolm X would do. Anybody of any spiritual discipline would not have done that.
Sure, any true spiritual discipline.
Yeah,
you know what?
They wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, so I have to say that Boy, that was hilarious. I had to mute my mic when you were talking about ice cream because if somebody is going to do that, then the ice cream and the, what do they call it? Perishable goods.
Yeah.
That would be the one to use if you're going to do what that, if you're wanting to have the impact that that pastor was attempting to do. But I think if we could really kind of hone in on, because I don't think and I'm going to say that I do agree. Ultimately, I agree with both of you that it's not the thing to do. And I appreciate George Middleton's statement about I wouldn't follow the guy to the corner. That's not good leadership. And I do have to agree with that. But I will say that we've got to find a way to intelligently add inconvenience to the boycott. Because again, as I stated earlier, if we say, hey, we're not going to shop with you guys anymore, we're boycotting you, the organization being boycotted can look at their watch and almost to the exact second determine when we'll be back as a consumer. And so all we did was inconvenience ourselves. So what are your thoughts on adding an element of inconvenience to the organization that we are boycotting? What are some ways we can do that? I'll start with you, Mr. Middleton.
Well, which one? Greg or me?
You, sir. You, sir.
Okay. First of all, the battle is not fought by carnal weapons. Now, I'm not talking about machine guns and that. I'm talking about minds. You have to be able to make bring a man to his conscience to think and feel that this is not the right thing to do. We're all brothers and sisters under the sun. Out of one blood, we are all made. And as a result, the devil comes in and has divided the family within the family. He's put us in a situation because of our looking for the easy way out. Scripture tells us to pick up our cross and follow him. We want everything easy. The point right now is when you're looking at artificial intelligence, people are worrying about, I'm not going to have a job. Or the robots, I'm not going to have a job. Or the immigrants, they're taking our jobs. Man was made to work, use his mind, develop. But these guys want it easy. There's no easy way around it. You got to go through it. You can't go around it, under it, over. You got to go through it. And when you come out on the other side, you become victorious. Mm-hmm. And that is what makes you who you are.
Yeah.
The journey. The maturity is in the journey.
Yeah.
And after so many years on earth, I've learned the maturity. The journey has made me who I am. There was a time that I would endorse this gentleman wholeheartedly. Mm-hmm. But that's the way of a fool. Mm-hmm. That is.
Yeah. Wow. You know what? I know you're speaking the truth because I've known you for a very long time, Mr. Middleton. And I know you're speaking the truth, and you've always advocated about going through it. There are no shortcuts. There is no going around. There's no going up. You got to go through it. And that's what makes you. And that's why one of your famous sayings is that a lot of people that know you, they can attest to it as well. Stay in the game. Stay in the game. Greg, any thoughts based on what your father has said, or any last thoughts before we wrap this podcast episode up, sir?
Yeah, Bill Cruz, basically, the situation is that we are taking our energy and we're misdirecting our potential. Mm. After so many times of being mistreated and overstepped and everything else, why don't we have our own targets? Why don't we have our own supermarkets, our own hotels, our own banks, our own mortgage companies, our own universities, our own colleges? So they can't dictate and determine what curriculum we're going to teach. Who's going to be the manager? Who's going to be the supervisor? Who's going to be the president of these corporations? Male or female. Why do we continue to shop and lean and depend and just beg for scraps at the master's table?
Yeah.
Every single time. We've been doing this for centuries now. And the challenges that we went through in the early 1900s, 20th century, where black folks are just getting out of slavery, we were stronger, more resilient, more disciplined, more conservative, more successful than we are right now. It seemed like segregation was the best thing for us because we had to get it ourselves, from ourselves. Now we're almost like parasites, man. We're leaning and hoping and begging and praying that they leave us something at the curb.
Oh man, profound statements. Any last words from you, George Middleton, sir? Wow.
Well, my chances and things I like to say to wrap this up. In my encounter with people every day, I'm hoping to be an inspiration and inspire people and lift them up, motivate them to do the right thing. And by doing so, that army that thought will be on his mind 24/7. And I don't have to say anymore. All I have to do is walk the walk, talk the talk, and lift God up, and he'll do the rest. He did not ask me to come in and try to make Satan do like when he was on the mountain and Satan told him, said, all of this could be yours. All you need to do is just
Bow
But
down.
what he did was he owns it all. He knows it all. So let go and let God work through you, not let God do it. You got to do it because God is in you. Greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world.
Amen.
So what you're doing is taking God completely out of the action, and you're fighting the battle. And the first thing you know to do is run or tit for tat. And that's what this preacher's doing.
Yes.
That's poor leadership.
Yes.
And that gentleman should be, he should be ran out of town, really.
Well, sir. Well, you know what?
Yes.
Yeah. And in honest, fair disclosure, on our website, doyouhearus.com, we do have that video, and we also have another video right next to it because this pastor apparently felt bad and wanted to apologize, and so we've got a link to the video having that discussion from another entity. But it's balanced. We're bringing balanced perspective to the community. So just want to make sure that was stated plainly. But yes, thank you, both of you gentlemen, for stopping by to have this brief conversation with us. I feel like we got some really good insight, and I think we're going somewhere. I think we might just have a little something here, because that was awesome perspective from both of you gentlemen about this viral video, and it's helped to kind of shape how we should be looking at things in this current environment.
Yeah.
It really is, because I feel like we're being pushed to such a level, and our backs are being pushed up against the wall to the point we're willing to lash out and do anything, and not just Black Americans, but anyone. So thank you for sharing some good, solid, scripturally based perspective and intellectual perspective. So gentlemen, thank you. That's it. That is the podcast. I appreciate you guys for pulling up and joining us. Be sure to visit our website, doyouhearus.com. Sign up for our mailing list, and then follow us on Facebook. We want to hear from you. All right. So, George Middleton, sir, I thank you for joining us on your podcast, essentially. And then your son, Greg Middleton, thanks to both of you for joining us. That's it. That is the podcast. And Mr. Middleton, I know that you had stated earlier before we started the podcast that there was a special comment that you wanted to leave for the mayor, Fort Wayne's mayor. Go ahead, sir. You have the floor.
I just wanted to shout out to Mayor Sharon Tucker. She is doing an excellent job on both sides of the line. For example, the
10-point coalition.
10-point coalition was been in business for almost 10 years. And for the time they'd been in business, they were working with the liabilities totally on the city. For example, if someone were to get hurt or whatever, the city would have to pick up the tab and take responsibility for that. But this new mayor, Sharon Tucker, come in and she put that on pause until such time that we got the kinks worked out. And they did get the kinks worked out. They are now a 501c3 organization, legitimate, self-sustaining, on their own, and doing what, in the business world, what they call doing business as. And with the responsibility for their business. They're taking responsibility. And I just wanted to let those who had doubt in their mind that she is straight down the line, and I want to give her flowers while I can. And there's a lot of other things she's been doing, but that's one of them.
Awesome.
Thank you, and God bless, man.
Awesome. Okay. Well, listen. Wow, that is so encouraging. Very encouraging. That's always good to hear when somebody holding a political office is actually doing what their constituents expect of them, and then doing things that the constituents had no idea was coming, but yet it's still a benefit to them. So awesome. Shout out to Mayor Sharon Tucker. Gentlemen, again, thank you so much for joining this podcast. That's it. That is the podcast. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. We want you to visit our website, doyouhearus.com. Sign up for our mailing list. And until next time, we will see you when we see you.